Most people treat payday like a reward. They see the number hit their account, their dopamine spikes, and they immediately start thinking about what they can finally buy. This is a survival-based reaction. Your brain is trying to capture the resources before they disappear. But a banker treats payday like a resupply mission. Payday is not the time to spend, it is the time to allocate. If you wait until the end of the month to see what's left over to save, the answer will always be zero. The system is designed to consume whatever liquidity you leave out in the open. Today, we are breaking down the Paycheck Routine. This is a 9-minute, non-negotiable system that you perform every single time money enters your world. We're moving from reactive spending to algorithmic allocation. Hey, I'm Geoff. I focus on studying the math and psychology behind money, how financial systems actually work, and why they so often work against people. On this channel, we break those mechanics down. If this is valuable to you, liking the video helps more than you think. The reason people fail with money isn't a lack of math skills, it's decision fatigue. Every time you have to decide whether to save $200 or buy a new pair of shoes, you are using up precious cognitive bandwidth. By the time you get home from a long day of work on Friday, your willpower is at zero. This is when the system wins. The solution: the algorithmic paycheck. You need to move the deciding to a time when you aren't under stress. Your routine should be an if-then statement. If I get paid $2,000, then $400 goes to bucket A, $1,000 goes to bucket B, and $600 goes to bucket C. When you automate the decision, you eliminate the decision tax. You stop trying to save and start executing a plan. This routine is the fence that protects your future self from your current impulses. Every paycheck must be split into 4 distinct buckets. The order is non-negotiable. Bucket 1, the fixed cost lockdown, 50 to 60%. This is your rent, utilities, insurance, and basic groceries. This money is pre-spent. It doesn't belong to you, it belongs to your survival. Bucket 2, the liquidity moat, 10 to 20%. Until you reach your escape velocity, the first 10K, this is your most important bucket. This goes into a high-yield savings account. This is the money that buys your quiet. Bucket 3, the investment engine, 10 to 20%. This is the 3-fund portfolio we discussed. This money is hired to work for you. It leaves your world and enters the global economy. Bucket 4, the guilt-free variable, remaining percent. This is what's left. This is your coffee, your movies, your fun. If you've made it this far, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. The mistake most people make is filling bucket 4 first and hoping there is enough left for buckets 2 and 3. In the proper routine, you pay the future version of yourself first, and the current version of yourself lives on the remainder. When you fill your buckets, you have to understand the power of friction-based architecture. Most people keep their buckets as just mental categories within one single bank account. This is a fatal mistake. If your liquidity moat is sitting in the same app as your coffee money, you will eventually spend it. The friction is too low. The proper routine requires a structural transfer. Your bucket 2, the liquidity moat, and your bucket 3, the investment engine, must be held at a different financial institution than your spending account. When you get paid, you aren't just moving numbers on a screen. You're physically moving the capital out of your reach. By creating a 24-hour delay to move that money back, you are building a biological safety switch. You are making it hard to do the wrong thing and automatic to do the right thing. This structural friction is what turns a plan into a fortress. It's not about trusting your willpower, it's about acknowledging that your willpower is unreliable and building a system that doesn't need it. The second step of the routine is the 15-minute audit. You don't do this once a year, you do it every single payday. You aren't looking for mistakes, you are looking for system parasites. 1. Check for ghost subscriptions. Did a free trial expire? 2. Check for the float. Are your bills aligned with your payday? As we learned, move your due dates to 3 days after you get paid. 3. Check for late fee hazards. Is there any bill that isn't on autopay that could trigger a penalty? This audit is your structural defense. It ensures that your bucket doesn't have any tiny holes that you've forgotten about. If you find a parasite, you kill it immediately. No doing it tomorrow. During your 15-minute audit, there is a specific metric you need to track: your true hourly wage. The system wants you to believe you earn what's on your contract, let's say $30 an hour. But after you subtract the cost of your commute, the specialized clothes you have to wear, the convenience meals you buy because you're too tired to cook, and the taxes, your real take-home pay might only be $18 an hour. Why does this matter during your paycheck routine? Because it changes your cost perception. When you see a $100 pair of shoes during your 48-hour buy rule, you shouldn't ask, do I have $100? You should ask, is this worth 6 hours of my actual life? Most system parasites survive because they look small in dollars. But when you realize an unused $15 streaming subscription is taking 50 minutes of your life every single month, you find the motivation to kill it instantly. The audit isn't about numbers, it's about reclaiming your time. If you had a good month and stayed under budget in bucket 4, what do you do with the extra $100? Most people see it as a bonus for next month's spending. The banker move is different. You apply a sweep rule. Any money left in your spending account the morning before your next payday is swept into your liquidity moat or your investment engine. This creates a gamified incentive to spend less. If you know that every dollar you save this week is going to hire more workers for your 3-fund portfolio on Friday, your brain starts valuing the future dollar more than the current latte. Finally, we have to reframe what happens when your liquidity moat hits its target. Once your first 10K is secure, your routine doesn't change. The label on the bucket does. It shifts from an emergency fund to an opportunity fund. An emergency fund is defensive. It's there because you're afraid of what the world might do to you. An opportunity fund is offensive. It's there because you're waiting for the world to make a mistake. When the stock market drops 20% or a boring business in your town goes up for sale at a discount, the person with a paycheck routine is the only one with the dry powder to act. By sweeping your leftovers every month into this fund, you are building a leverage engine. You are moving from a person who hopes for the best to a person who is prepared for the best. This shift in mindset from fearing emergencies to hunting opportunities is the final stage of the routine. It's where your discipline stops being a chore and starts being your greatest competitive advantage. The final part of the routine is the 48-hour buy rule. Payday creates a high dopamine state. You feel rich, even if you aren't. This is the most dangerous time to be online. Your routine must include a ban on any non-essential purchase over $50 for the first 48 hours after your paycheck hits. By the time Monday morning rolls around, the payday high has faded. You look at those headphones again with your analytical brain instead of your survival brain. 90% of the time, you'll realize you don't actually want them. You just wanted the feeling of being a person who could buy them. A routine isn't a cage, it's a foundation. When you do this every single time you get paid, you stop thinking about money and start observing it. The stress of, can I afford this, disappears because the algorithm has already answered the question. You aren't a person who is bad with money or struggling to save. You are a person with a system. The system doesn't care if you had a bad day or stressful week. The system just executes. And over 5, 10, and 20 years, the person with the best system always beats the person with the best intentions.